Before I will invite here on the stage my first guest, I would like to cite something from the news. Yesterday, while the opening of this great conference, in the southeastern Zaporizhia region, Russia launched 547 strikes on 15 settlements. This is the reality of life in this part of Ukraine. But more details and more about it will tell us the mayor of Melitopol and head of Zaporizhia Regional Administration, Ivan Fedorov. I'm happy to invite you here. Okay, I think we have a little delay. We will wait for our next guest, but before, I would like to talk a little bit with you here in the audience. Please tell me who of you comes from Ukraine? So you witnessed all the reality, all the severe reality of this everyday shellings. And who of you are from Germany? Yeah. And from the other European cities? European countries, sorry. Yes, thank you. So I think it's will be very interesting now to listen about the experience of the southeastern region of Ukraine. And now I'm ready to welcome here on the stage my first guest, Ivan Fedorov. As I said, mayor of Melitopol and head of the Zaporizhia Regional Administration. Thank you.
Дуже дякую. Сподіваюсь, що чутно.
Thank you very much. I do hope that you can hear me very well and you get interpretation. Thanks a lot. Let me start my presentation by saying that while we are here in Berlin, while we are acquiring new international experience, it was really today when Zaporizhia region was subjected to shelling more than 500 times, causing mammoth destruction for our civilians and injured 3 people in Zaporizhia. Speaking about life in Zaporizhia, we have to understand that it is an evacuation and military hub that is located 40 kilometers away from the front line. We have to realize how complex the life there is. But when you talk about the priorities of our team, the first priority is people. And that's different categories of people. 70% of our region is occupied. Around 1 million of people live and work 40 kilometers away from the front line. And that's people that fled occupied territories. That's more than 300,000. That's people that are affected by shelling of the enemy and destruction caused by it. There are 2 most important categories here. That's our children. In the course of last 2 years, they changed dozens of schools, dozens of houses. They didn't have an opportunity to study offline for 4 years. They lost their friends. They miss socializing. So we need to make sure that our children can enjoy normal life and develop as they should. We are trying to open a new school for the kids to be able to study offline because this type of education is of higher quality and has a better future. We are establishing youth centers, and these centers will allow for socializing of our kids. We want to make sure that universities, colleges resume their operations in Zaporizhia, and we want to make sure that life is safe there. The second vulnerable group of people are women. We are close to the front line, and a lot of men joined the armed forces, and women have to acquire new professions. They have a bigger responsibility than they had before. A separate category of women are IDPs. They have to acquire new professions. They have to get retrained and reskilled. They have to find their new place and socialize. We need to protect this group of people so that they could enjoy some kind of normalcy, though it is 40 kilometers away from the front line. We have to understand that the priorities in our work remain assistance to the armed forces and servicemen, and that's of critical importance. every person in the Zaporizhzhia region understands that to be able to return home, we have to assist a lot to the armed forces. And every step to this end brings us closer to our hometowns. The enemy destroys critical infrastructure. The enemy wants us to live in the darkness. In the course of 2 years, 40 missile attacks hit Dniprovska plant. But apart from being energy source for us, that's the source of logistics, because to cross the Dnieper River is something indispensable, and that's the matter of livelihood for our citizens. That's why we are developing a new decentralized energy system that plays a critical role for people in our region, especially given the upcoming winter heating system. We count on partnership and assistance, but in the future, we offer long-term partnership relations for our region and European countries. I want all of us to take a look at the video that's about Zaporizhzhia and Zaporizhzhia region. Thank you.
Thank you very much for these beautiful views of Zaporizhzhia. You know, maybe it's the city with the longest street, and I hope that every one of you can see the street, the brightest and the longest street, and visit this city, and the war will be over. So, and now, as you can see from the program, the next part is called Inclusion, Transparency as a Superpower for the Recovery and European Integration of Ukrainian Cities. But to talk about the superpower, I would like to invite here on the stage a superwoman. And you may ask me why she's calling her superwoman. Yeah, it's a lady who is a mayor of Poltava. She came here with a newborn baby, and just try to imagine how difficult it is to raise such a little child, but also be a mayor of a city in a country during the wartime. Please, I'm happy to welcome here on the stage Katerina Yamshchikova.
Thank you. I wish all of you to stay healthy. Thanks for the opportunity to be here and to talk about my hometown. That's Poltava. My name is Katerina Yamshchikova. I'm acting head of the city. Recently, we started relaunching our city. Poltava is a huge logistics center bordering with cities heroes, Sumy, Kharkiv. These are the cities that we are together, shoulder to shoulder. and all logistic transport routes that go to Western Ukraine and to the capital Kyiv go through our town. We hosted more than 50,000 IDPs. At the moment, that's over 50,000 people. They are not the burden. They are opportunities for us, and therefore we want to create all conditions for them to stay in our community and to join for the effective results and deliver. Let's talk about the new path that we launched on, and it's a horrible wording, but that's thanks to the war, because that was a driving force for additional development. Ukraine is not just recovering, but Ukraine is recovering under shelling, under airstrikes, sirens, but Ukraine is progressing towards its future. We're using all opportunities of investing in this city. We are working with the state programs. The superhero school, that's about lifelong learning, even at the hospitals. And at the moment, we are organizing rehabilitation in the manner that children that stay in the hospital continue studying because they have the best access to the best technologies. We want people to come back to Ukraine. We don't want people to leave our country because people are concerned about education and safety. Education, just because we need to raise small Ukrainians. We are starting new types of cooperation with our international partners. UNICEF, step by step, but we signed an MOU to attract direct funding to show transparency, to show openness, to show that we are not afraid of all this horrible metrics, tables that officials are shocked with. Our system, was it ready for it? No. Was the system of management in our country ready for so many projects to manage? No, we were not, but we are ready and hungry to learn, and we are ready and remain open for the assistance, and we are ready to train our experts to be able to employ the processes offered. We are grateful to UNICEF for the assistance. Despite all the things that are happening in the country, we have kind of traditional issues that cities in the process of development are facing. That's sewage, water treatment, water supply. That's something that requires huge resources and efforts. And again, I'm grateful to the international partners. Last week, we resumed water supply in our community thanks to UNICEF, or rather UNICEF Foundation. Why am I saying this? The conferences like this, well, today we have an opportunity to talk directly to the decision makers. Sometimes we are guided by stereotypes. International foundations, cooperation with them takes a lot of time. But Ukraine is a shining example that we destroy this stereotype because we interact quickly. When you talk about the projects I quoted, so it took us only 10 days to make sure that water supply is back to normal. We are open to proper messages. Municipalities, that's the platform to ensure equal opportunities for people in the community. And I'm talking not about the projects that City Council is initiating, but that's the projects initiated by businesses. And we are ready for cooperation. I'm talking on behalf of the businesses. We are ready to tap new markets. We have Nova Poshta, Avrora. We have small and micro businesses, craft type of businesses. We have businesses launched by war veterans. In our communities, we have 8.5 million earmarked for production of dual-purpose goods, drones. That's what makes us stronger. We want to bring it up to the next level and are in search of the partners. We are ready to fight for the resources. We are ready for that. We are ready for co-funding. We want to make sure that the projects are stable, not just piloting the projects for the sake of the project. We want to make sure that the project is initiated, implemented, and has future. We are building construction for IDPs. We need partners there. We do not hesitate to start something when we lack funds to build the roof and purchase the chairs, but we are ready to take responsibility. We lay the ground for that, and we know that the world will support us and will manage, will persevere. We are initiating the centers of the adventurers, inclusivity, accessibility. I'm happy that in Ukraine it's not about architecture being accessible. We are ready for European integration.
We're ready for the integration. We can, we may. We understand that we need to learn a lot, and we're ready for that. Poltava community is ready to cooperate, to interact, to pilot, and to work together. We know for sure that victory will be ours. Thank you very much to the armed forces of Ukraine. Thank you very much that my family is safe. And my son is safe. Thank you to the entire world who's helping our Ukraine, our armed forces of Ukraine, to bring victory closer. Thank you. It's very valuable for us. It's a great jumping board for us. No matter how terrible it sounds, we're inspired. We know exactly that we will be victorious, and we know that Ukraine is expected in Europe, is waiting for you. Europe is waiting for Europe. We're a outpost of Europe. We're stand together, protecting Europe. Thank you very much for being here to talk about our community, to renew its image, and to work today with you from morning till dusk for the benefit of our country. We appreciate it. We thank you, and I'm ready to cooperate and mutual understanding and joint actions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and we wish you great success. Thank you. And I'm going to invite here my next guest, but before, I would like to remind you on some Ukrainian reality again. The word Bucha, the name of the beautiful city in Ukraine, became actually a symbol of Russian cruelty, but also a symbol of Ukrainian resilience. Now I'm going to invite here the mayor of city of Bucha. He will tell us about Build Back Better, restoration of Bucha and lessons learned. You're welcome.
Thank you very much to everyone. Thank you to the organizers. Bucha is the city that lived through the Russian occupation and felt what the so-called Russian world and Russian army bring to the world. Civilians were killed. Women and men were raped. Infrastructure and buildings were destroyed. Our territorial community, having faced this challenge, has set a strategic goal to bring back the citizens from safe places to its country, and we've developed a strategic development plan. We have evaluated the destruction scale of more than 4,000 sites. Within the strategy of development for our community, we've managed to establish what we're going to do. First and foremost, we relied upon the resources of our own community, owing to the taxpayers of our own, but also received support from the regional and central authorities of Ukraine. The volume of work that we needed to implement, and this is a successful case of rebuilding in Ukraine, in the Kyiv region. We're talking about schools, medical sites, residential areas, critical infrastructure. Over the last 2 years, I can tell you that 97% of sites that have been destroyed or damaged, we managed to rectify, mitigate it, and move it back to the owners. One of the success cases is Vokzalna Street, exactly the street that where the Russian military column was destroyed, and they were heading for Kiev. Our armed forces stopped them there and threw them out. But as a result of this battle, 118 buildings were destroyed, and the school was destroyed. So working together with Bucha-based partners and Warren Buffett Foundation, we jointly implemented this project. And I'm very pleased that just 1 year after the deoccupation and liberation of Bucha, we've managed to give the residential facilities back to their owners. At the same time, we should state that a huge number of multi-story buildings in such places like Bucha, where Russian occupiers moved, these buildings have been based. But using the programs in Ukraine, one of them is called the Rebuilding Program, Rebuild Your Home. We implement the mitigation measures to rebuild these ruined buildings. Another example of our cooperation with international partners, Taiwan government indeed initiated a humanitarian project to rebuild social sites. We're talking about this sports school in our community that was rebuilt. 97% of sites have been reinstalled step by step. But based on the strategic vision that we have and that we offer to our partners who help us, we managed to go forward. And that inspires me and our colleagues in our region of Ukraine. Where Ukrainian forces liberate these areas, we offer up our recipe for rebuilding, because we went through this school. At the same time, speaking about the rebuilding, as my colleague noted, we must think not only about today, for rebuilding's sake, but we must think about tomorrow. So the strategy for development, my citizens, my community have this strategy, and they implement it successfully. We plan to build a lot. We plan to build a multifunctional hospital center, which will cover the area around Bucha. We have challenges related to daily shelling and bombing of energy infrastructure by the Russian in our area. So we get ready for immense challenges that we're going to face during the new heating season. This is our joint task to make Ukraine resilient and municipalities powerful to counteract the destruction that the enemy imposes on us. Working with our Lithuanian partners, we will rebuild the school from the ground up. We decided not to reconstruct it, but to build a new building institution. This is an example of our joint work, talking about the return of our fellow citizens. We must answer the question where they're going to work and how our community is going to develop. One of the projects of this kind is Bucha Techno Garden. We had been working on this project before the invasion. The enemy stopped us, but today we have a new impetus. 6 months ago, we signed a cooperation agreement with the Korean company Highwater, and as part of this program, the president of this South Korean company, on the assignment by the government of South Korea, acknowledged and confirmed the implementation of this project. Soon we're going to talk about the implementation on 3,000 hectares of land, including Antonov Airfield. We'll have a great town in town, Bucha Techno Garden. We'll do together way more. I'd like to use this opportunity to speak about another case that we talk about. We're representatives of territorial communities. We have partners in the European countries and the world, and we work together with them. At this time, when Ukrainian municipalities require help and assistance, and I'm proud that it was the Bergisch Gladbach, German town in the Rhine region, is our partner. And every Ukrainian city, I believe, will have a complemented development in their territorial community, no matter where in the world these communities would be. I thank you for your attention. I'd like to use this opportunity and like to ask Ms. Lee from the South Korean company with whom we're going to work on the Center for Rehabilitation of Handicapped People. So this is going to be the center that will serve not only our community but also
and we are happy that we have here this special moment on the on this stage, that right now there will be signed up cooperation agreement. Please welcome it with your support it with your applause. We wish you successful cooperation and hope that all the plans will be achieved, all the aims which you Ми бажаємо вам успіхів.
We wish you success.
Please show your agreements. One more picture. Yeah. Congratulations, and thank you very much for your input. Thank you. Leave it here. Okay. Thank you very much, and now we are going to have a short break and see you already, quite soon here on this stage for the next part. Thank you.